Good days, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to today's government jam pass question. Today we'll be looking at jam pass question in order to prepare those who have registered for 2025 jam examination. Yes, if you are planning to write your jam next year, 2026 and beyond, you can as well start practicing now because it is important you practice and understand what you are going in for. Yes, we will be starting with question number one. Question number one, which read: one characteristics of constitutionalism is dash. A. Limited government powers. B. Political patronage. C. Judicial activism. D. Arbitrary government action. If you look at it very well, you see that the question actually is asking one of the characteristics of constitutionalism. One characteristics of constitutionalism is limited government powers. Constitutionalism refers to the adherence to a constitution that limits the power of government, ensures the rule of law, and protects individual. So if we have gotten that now, we see that constitutionalism, one of the characteristics of constitutionalism is limited government power. And if you look at the options very well, we'll see that option A is limited government power is the right answer for this question. So let's quickly move to question number two. Question number two reads: in constitutional law, what does the term supreme law of the land primarily signify? I read the question again. In constitutional law, what does the term supreme law of the land primarily signify? Option A, the hierarchy of courts. Option B, the authority of the executive branch. Option C, the primary of the constitution over all other laws. Option D, the role of international treaty. If you look at the question very well, the question is actually talking about supreme law of the land, what it actually means. If you see it very well, you see that the correct answer is the correct answer there. It is the primacy of the constitution. The primacy of the constitution over all other laws. When we're talking about supreme law of the land, it is believed that Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. And since we have moved away from the Privy Court of England, of London, Supreme Court has Supreme Court became the highest court in the land. So when we now say supreme law of the land, which we literally saying that no other law supersedes it. Whatever the Supreme Court actually say is the final. So when you now look at the option, you see that the primacy of the constitution over all other laws is the correct answer for this question number two. So we quickly move towards question number three. And question number three reads: who was Nigeria's first executive president after gaining independence in 1960? Yes, option A is read Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Option B, Alhaji Shehu Shagari. Option C, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Option D, General Yakubu Gowon. If you look at this question very well, you see you may be confused. That is what JAMB wants you to do. JAMB wants the question to confuse you because they know that, yes, if you want to look at it very well, you will say that we had presidents immediately we gain independence now. uh that should be the president. But there is difference between the first president and the first executive president. If you look at it very well, Nigeria first executive president after gaining independence in 1960 was Alhaji Shehu Shagari as Nigerian state as Nigeria started presidentialism in 1979. Yes, we had president, but president we had then it is what is called what we refer to as what figure uh which English would I call it? What language should I use? Figurehead president or a president that cannot bite. It's I always me as a person I always call it the president we had then as what as a bulldog president who cannot actually make any decision, is just holding office without any power. It is the prime minister then that is the head of what? Head of government. As at that time, why the head of state still reside with the uh, queen of England. Then, so this question, the answer suited for this question is option B, which is what Alhaji Shehu Shagari, who became the president in 1979. Okay, I think that is quite straightforward. Let's quickly move to what question number four. Uh, question number four. Question number four reads: Coalition government typically form in dash. Coalition government typically form in dash. Option A, one party system. Option B, dominant party system. Option C, multi-party system. Option D, two-party system. If you look at the question very well, maybe we were to look, maybe let's try and break down this question so that we'll have a better understanding. They said coalition. What is coalition? Coalition has to do with maybe party A and party B. They try to merge to come together so that they can occupy the seat of power. You understand? Or maybe one party is not stronger, is just strong enough to defeat the opposition party. So two, three party can come in agreement and come together in order to wrestle power. So that is what this question is actually talking about. It says that coalition governments typically form in what party system? Number one, when you look at option A say one party system. One party system has no alternative. It is only one party that the system allow. Then when you look at option B, which says dominant party system is not among the party system that we have. Then option C, multi-party system, which means that in a situation that in a system where 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parties can exist. Okay, and also D, party option D, which says two-party system in a system where it is only two party that is allowed. In a situation when two party is allowed, how can you go and look for another party to wrestle power from one party? If one party is in power, it's only remain one party. So in that situation, coalition cannot take place. When we look at it very well, we see that option C is the right answer for this question, because under multi-party system, it is a system that allows several parties. If one party is in power, you still have a lot of parties that can come together and wrestle power with the party in power. So for this question number 4, the right answer is option C. So let's quickly move to question number question number 5, which really says that a common demerit of deregulation in public corporation is dash. A common demerit of deregulation in public corporation is dash. If you look at the question very well, we are talking the question is actually focusing on what? Disadvantage of demerit. The disadvantage of deregulation in public corporation. Option A says that decrease consumers' choices. B, monopolistic practices. C, enhanced innovation. D, improved service delivery. If you look at the question very well, what is even deregulation? Deregulation is removing or relaxing government laws, that has been on ground. That is what deregulation is talking about. Removing or relaxing government laws on, on situation, or maybe, government laws that have been put in place, reducing or relaxing it. So when you now look at it, they now say, what is the disadvantage of, when you relax government law on public corporation? If you remember, public corporation, it is an executive tool. Okay, so when we now say that, the disadvantage of relaxing government laws on public corporation, where can it be, or what can it result to? Number one, the answer to this question, it cannot be option A, which is decrease consumers' choices. It cannot decrease consumers' choices. Option B is a monopolistic practices. What is monopolistic practices? Which means that, it is an individual that have the sole, what's it called, sole power over a particular product. And option C says that enhanced innovation, relaxing demerits or negative of relaxing government laws on public corporation cannot enhance innovation. No, it cannot enhance innovation. Demerit, it cannot enhance innovation. Option D, improved service delivery cannot, because when government reduce its law, disadvantage of it will be purely monopolistic practices. A common demerit of deregulation in public corporation is monopolistic practices. Deregulation can sometimes lead to the concentration of market power in the hands of few companies, resulting in monopolistic behavior. Honestly, that is the correct answer, because that is the demerit. When the moment government just relax their law, it becomes, the tools in the hand of few. I actually urge you to look for topics that you don't understand in government and send it under the comment section. Definitely, we're going to do a video on it and try as much as we can to explain to your best understanding. And if you're having issues on the one we have done before, please don't hesitate to go to comment section, put it there. The one you don't understand, the one you want us to explain better, put it in comment section. Definitely, we are going to help you out, because our aim is for you to pass your JAMB. Our aim is for you to do what? To pass your JAMB, so that all of us can what? Move forward in life. So we now move to question number 6. We now move to question number 6, which read, how did British colonial rule impact the socio-cultural fabric of colonized society? How did British colonial, sorry, I repeat that question again. How did British colonial rule impact the socio-cultural fabrics of colonized society? Option A, introduction of Western education and values. Option B, reduction of ethnic divisions. Option C, establishment of religious tolerance. Option D, preservation and promotion of indigenous culture. If you look at it, I'm not going to go into um, colonial or colonialism as a topic. But I just want us to understand this question because JAMB is all about you understanding. It is not only how brilliant the JAMB is trying to test. JAMB is also trying to test your smartness. How smart are you? How can you understand questions? So let's look at this question very well before we quickly dive and get our right answer out of the option. The question says, how did British colonial rule impact socio-cultural uh, fabrics of colonized society? If you look at it, before the coming of colonials, we the Africans, we have our way. Your Nigeria as a case study here. Before the coming of the colonials, we have a well-established political system, a well-working political system, a well-respected political system. In the north, we have a centralized system where we have emir and the chiefs that help emir to carry out the activities in the emirate because they run an emirate system there. If you come to the Igbo pre-colonial system as well, Igbo pre-colonial system practice a system which refers to as what? Fragmented or decentralized system. It's a system that is based on family system. It is a working system which has been on ground before the coming of colonial. And if you look at the West as well, the Oyo Empire, it is a system that practices centralized system, which Alafin is seen as what? The paramount ruler, the political head of the Yoruba. It's a system where, check and balances were being in place because Oyomesi and, the Ogboni and the rest, they were in place to checkmate, like Oyomesi now checkmate the excessive power of Alafi so that Alafi will not misuse his power. And also there is Aremo who cannot automatically become the Alafi. If his father died, he cannot assume the throne. He had to go and line up. It is the Oyomesi that help in selecting the new Alafi. Oyomesi has seven. It comprises 7 chiefs. If Alafi misuse his power, it is these people that will tell Alafi to what? To go and open calabash, which means for him to go and what? Commit suicide. That was the system that we had on ground, before the colonial. And this question is now saying that what kind of rule impacted all these rules that we have on ground? If you look at it, it was the introduction of Western education and values that destroy our what? Socio-cultural society when they came. Because if you look at it, some may want to argue, according to Nnamdi Azikiwe, said that colonialism is in 2 ways. It came in the area of positive and also in what? In negative, which is good and bad. Okay? If you look at the education, Western education very well, it's not that we African or Nigerian, to be precise, we don't have our ways of educating ourselves. We have our ways of educating ourselves before the coming of colonials. Our ways of educating ourselves, it is in informal way. You understand? In a situation where you're with someone for some years, then you learn the trade. After the trade, so year, after that year you graduate and you become your own boss. But they introduce Western education to us, Western education and value to us, which affected our social cultural fabrics of of our system. So I think that is clear. None of the options provide much the impact of British colonial rule on socio-cultural fabrics. The correct impact is the introduction of Western education and value, which often lead to erosion of indigenous culture and tradition. Let's quickly move to question number 7 because we don't have much time. Question number 7 says that the creation of more states in 1996 was largely driven by the need to dash A. Centralized economic resources. Option B. Reduce political divisions. Option C. Address ethnic imbalances. Option D. Expand military base. If you look at this question very well, you see that um, this era or this time, we were still, especially in Nigeria, we were still under military rule, and it was General Sani Abacha that was actually ruling us at this moment. Though this military ruler actually wanted to balance the ethnic imbalances that we had then, or people were complaining about. They wanted to at least balance it so that we have equal number, and that's what made General Sonny Abacha actually created this new state. The creation of more states in 1996 was largely driven by the need to address ethnic imbalances. The new states were created to promote equity and representation for various ethnic groups in Nigeria. So if you look at the option A, B, C, and D, we'll see that option C is the right answer. So let's quickly move to question number 8. Question number 8. And question number 8 reads, one mechanism aimed at resolving conflict in Nigeria federalism is through dash. One mechanism aimed at resolving conflict in Nigerian federalism is through dash. A. Military intervention. B. Nationalization. C. Ethnic segregation. D. Judicial review. The correct mechanism is judicial review, which ensure equitable representation and distribution of resources among the diverse ethnic groups in Nigeria. The right option to this question is option D. So let's quickly move to second to the last question for today, which is question number 9. Let's quickly look at question number 9. Question number 9 read, the pre-colonial political system in Nigeria that relies on a council of elders for decision making was dash. Council of elders for decision making was dash. If you remember earlier, I've actually explained this pre-colonial political system, at least to some extent, not in-depthly anyway, but to some extent. Say the pre-colonial political system in Nigeria that rally around council of elders for decision making was dash. A. Kanuri system. Kanuri system. B. Yoruba system. C. Tiv system. D. Fulani system. If you look at the question very well, you see that the pre-colonial political system in Nigeria that rely on council of elders for decision making was the Yoruba system. This system was characterized by the Oyo Empire, where the Alaafin, the king, ruled with assistance of council of elder known as what? Oyomesi. I mentioned the Oyomesi. Oyomesi comprises of what? 7 chiefs. These are the people who make some decisions in the empire. If you remember, I said it earlier that they help Alaafin, in ruling the empire, and at the same time they checkmate the excessive power of Alaafin. If should in case Alaafin misuses his power, definitely they will have to tell Alaafin to go and open calabash. Okay, so that's this question. The best answer for this question is option B, which is Yoruba system. Before the last question, I will still want to reiterate this again for our students that have registered for 2025 JAMB UTME. Please, if you have any issue in any question, in any topic, in any topic of government or any other subject, don't hesitate. It's not only government that we focused on. We've also focused on other subjects. Please, if you're having issues in any of the topics in any subject, do put it under the comment section. Definitely we are going to answer to your question, and we'll do a video, because this 2025 is your year. You must score 300 or possibly 250 to 300. Okay, if you do the right thing, high score does not fall from heaven. It is based on hard work and resilience. If you have determined that yes, I am going to score high, you will definitely score high. So let's quickly move to the last question in government for today. The last question which is question number 10, says the Second Republic in Nigeria was characterized by dash. The Second Republic in Nigeria was characterized by dash. I'm very sure that we know that we are in Fourth Republic now in Nigeria. We're in Fourth Republic now in Nigeria. And now the question is saying that how many political parties exist, or is that that we witnessed during Second Republic in Nigeria. Okay, option A says that decentralized governance. Option B say a two-party system. Option C say one-party system. Option D say military rule. If you look at the four options, you see that it is only one option that is related to the question asked. If you look at it, you see that it is one option that is related. Option A says decentralized governance, which is totally off the balance. It is not a party system at all. Then option B say two-party system. Option C say one-party dominance. When you say one-party dominance, it means that one party has been, dominating, the affairs of the political scene or thereabout. That one is also off. Then D say military rule. Military rule is not part of the republic in Nigeria. It is not part of, when we're counting republics that we have experienced in Nigeria, military rule is not part of it. So if you look at it very well, you see that the option B is the right answer, which is a two-party system. The Second Republic in Nigeria was characterized by a two-party system. This period saw the emergence of two major political parties, the NPN and the UPN, which compete in elections. So option B is the right answer for question number 10. At this moment, we'll be drawing today's tutorials class. We'll be closing the class. Please don't forget to support us by clicking like, subscribe, and also share it for your friends that may also need this tutorial. Please, we are waiting for your response. We are waiting for your comment. Your comments play a bigger role in making us to do a better video for you. Please don't forget, this is Excellent Grade Tutorials. Okay, we wish you happy and blessed day till we see you next time. Thank you.